Some are afraid of physical harm coming to them or causing physical harm. Others are afraid of mental anguish, mental pain, or causing mental anguish and mental pain. Our invitation today is to accept that yes, both are patterns, so by default both could be categorized as illusions. But we feel that shit. We live that shit. So let's not stop there. Let's not smack an enormous Band-Aid on a bullet wound and say, well, it's patterns, so make your suffering go away. No, my love. Hello, my sweet friend, and welcome to May You Be Open. May you be open. Might you be open? Just for now. Just for the moment, to the possibility that your thoughts do not hurt others. May you be open. May you be open to the possibility that others' thoughts do not hurt you. And may you be open to the possibility that your thoughts do not hurt yourself. Let me explain. Right out the gate, my darling, are we negating suffering and pain? Are we saying, you don't feel pain, it's all an illusion. You don't suffer, that's an illusion too. To just zip your lip and be positive and get on with your bad life. I mean, that's one interpretation, yes. But that's not what we're saying here, my sweet love. Rather than try to scapegoat some failure in ourself, to not realize just how illusory this all is. So why take it so seriously? That's never helpful. I mean, in my experience, maybe that's helpful for you. Like, snap out of it. Just, can you stop feeling pain and suffering? I don't know about you, but that's never really been an effective tact for myself. Instead, there is a nectar and a medicine in the same message, but it can be approached from a different angle. And that's the possibility we're embracing today. May you be open. We don't need to make it an absolute truth today. We'll just play with the possibility. We'll flirt with it a little bit. My favorite. Maybe you've heard of psychic attacks or psychic warfare. Or maybe, like myself, you even identify as a psychic. So you can walk between two worlds and perceive sensory stimuli in both the physical and the non-physical. Perhaps like me, you can read minds. You can hear others' thoughts when they're in the room, and if you know them well enough, or you're soon to know them well enough, you can hear their thoughts before you even meet, or from a distance. So if it's possible, if there's a world where thoughts are things, and they hold a resonant, energetic, electrical frequency, then isn't it possible that they could do harm? Isn't it possible that you could wield them like weapons? Just like you would a weapon. I was going to list off a list of weapons, but just pick your favorite and run with it, darling. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible that in this world, this body can be destroyed by harm done to it. And it's possible that in this world, just slightly adjacent in a slightly less dense frequency, the predecessor to form, that's thought, can be hurt, can be destroyed, can be affected by other thoughts. The thought realm operates a lot like the physical dimension that we call this third dimension. Some would even say it's the building blocks to this dimension. But today we look at a radically different perspective. Just to be open to it. Just to contemplate that there could be some power, untapped, waiting for you from this vantage point. We've explored the premise here that this is patterns. The body is made up of patterns. Every cell, you can see them under a microscope. You don't even need a microscope. You can just touch. Hello. That's dense. You can see the patterns by looking at the phenotype or the way aspects of your body appear, features, qualities. Those are patterns. Those patterns exist in what we call DNA. But then there's the mind, the non-physical counterpart, which has its own patterns just as the body's cells do. Those patterns come from nature, from nurture, from environment. Then you have the emotions, the nervous system, the electrical system. And those are built on patterns too. So like the formed reality, may we be open to the possibility that the mind is a patterned reality too. And for some reason we fear the mind, more so in some ways than we do harm in the physical, although depending on every individual's patterns, which they fear more will vary. Some are afraid of physical harm coming to them or causing physical harm. Others are afraid of mental anguish, mental pain, or causing mental anguish and mental pain. Our invitation today is to accept that yes, both are patterns, so by default both could be categorized as illusions. But we feel that shit. We live that shit. So let's not stop there. Let's not smack an enormous Band-Aid on a bullet wound and say, well, it's patterns, so make your suffering go away. No, my love. Let's just be open to this possibility. Just as some beings are patterned to run through the world and cause destruction to other physical beings, using weapons, using their own body, using whatever tool aligns with their patterning. There are beings, perhaps even beyond humans, who operate in the same way in the mental realm, in the spiritual realm. It's true. I will admit it. Some beings are hurling around thoughts like weapons, thoughts of hurting one another, thoughts of superiority over some, the inferiority of others, judgments, resentments, anger, confusion. It's a beautiful tapestry of destructive thoughts that are available, just as there's a beautiful tapestry of destructive behaviors that are available. And yet, the wisdom in today's transmission is understanding that just like with physical behavior, thought forms are patterned as well. Meaning that no individual has this so-called magical free will that allows them to flip a switch and stop being either the recipient of destructive thoughts or the perpetuator of destructive thoughts. Just as no being has the magic power of free will that allows them to stop being either the recipient of destructive behaviors or the perpetuator of destructive behaviors. This is not meant to end suffering, by the way. This realization leads to something greater in a moment. But before we get there, we allow ourselves to be open to the possibility that it is not personal. Whether we're the victim or the perpetuator, when we're really devoted to living as this avatar and calling this everything, this is me, this flesh, this name, these genetics, then everything feels very personal. Of course it does. But when we understand that every being that takes physical form is a patterned being, hell, even beings that don't take physical form are a patterned being. If they don't exist as pure light, then there are patterns involved. And that's a beautiful thing. Those patterns have purpose. And this is where your awakening begins. Rather than trying to micromanage your thoughts or the thoughts of others, rather than trying to defend yourself from psychic attacks or stop yourself from throwing mental daggers at patterns that are so incompatible with you that you wish they would just disappear. Rather than enhance and pour energy into your own pattern of needing to control, for better or for worse, can you flip the only free will switch that really exists, which is where you're identifying? Are you identifying as a pattern of body or mind, or as the light that animates the pattern? When you identify, just for a moment, with the light that animates the pattern, you'll realize that no matter how vindictive or destructive your patterns may be, or no matter how often they find themselves the victim of others' destructive patterning, there's a function, there's a purpose, and there is an order to it. And when we seek to defend or stop or control the way our patterns play out, even when we're flexing with morality or good intentions or spiritual superiority or knowledge, we slip into our most powerless self because we begin to play the game. Not just play it, but drown in it. It doesn't become a game anymore, it becomes suffering. Well, I'm being hurt, so I must defend. Well, I'm hurting, so I must stop myself. Well, I'm causing harm, so I must cut it quick. You aren't doing any of those things. Whether it be thoughts or actions, your patterns are doing those things. Your patterns were born to do those things. But it's not through identifying even harder with the patterns that we transmute those things. It's by taking a step back and witnessing the reality of the thoughts, of the behaviors, witnessing the so-called consequences, the suffering, witnessing every aspect of the pattern unconditionally, with sacred neutrality. That the pattern can be neutralized, transformed, and turned from its shadow expression to its light expression. In practical terms, that doesn't mean investing in magic to shield yourself, or investing in spells to return to sender. It doesn't mean creating more harm. It doesn't mean unleashing destruction. It means stepping back and witnessing what is, whether someone is sending harm or you are. And being bold enough, even in the witnessing of this, to identify with the vantage point that says, all is well. Identifying with the vantage point that says, all is love. Identifying with the vantage point that says, even in witnessing this suffering and pain, I remain untouched. And from that empowered position, then, and only then, can change begin to unfold. Or occur like a lightning bolt immediately. The more we identify as the fighter, the more harm we'll feel and cause, even in thought, even in mind. But when we identify as the animating light and start to realize there's no separation between us, it is all light interacting with light with different costumes on. Nothing's personal. When we sit there, miracles happen. And when we sit there, we're impervious to any attempt that there could ever be to take our peace. And why is that, my sweet love? Because when we sit there, we are peace. Until we meet again, I am sending you all of the love that I've got. It's always more. It's never less. Because you are so very worthy of it. I love you.